Okay, we're going to begin this lecture by altering the table daily questions and adding a column called right answer. I made it bar chart 255 with a default value of NA, which typically means not applicable. And in my case, I only had 2 rows affected because there were only 2 in there. Now, when we take a look at that, we see right answer has a default value of NA. And currently the 2 questions, what is your favorite color, how do you feel about the Yankees, both have a right answer of NA. We can see that. And that's because in some cases there will be a right answer to the question, but in some cases there won't be. So that's why we want to have that possibility. Now, select daily questions.question, okay, daily choices.answer. From daily questions, join daily choices on daily questions.id equals daily choices.qid. And that will allow us to see every possible answer with its related question. So there are only 2 possible answers about the Yankees. There are 5 possible colors. Now, just wanted to point out that the QID from daily responses is tied to the ID of the questions. So, what's your favorite color is question number 1. The AID is tied to the possible answers. So, the AID of 1 relates to the value red. That's how these 3 tables are interacting. So, in this case, we've joined first daily questions, join daily choices, where daily questions and daily choices have ID and QID. And then we're going to join those 2 to daily votes, otherwise called daily responses, on daily choices.id equals daily votes.aid. So there we can see the questions, the answers, when they voted, and when the IP address was, what the IP address was. So we first join these 2, then we join that 1. What we can do in addition is we can actually say, let's set up where daily questions.id equals 1. Now in that case, what we're going to do is only see the first question. So there are only 3 people voted on the first question. Another way we can do this is we can say, let's just see what the current question is. So whatever the current, where the start date is less than or equal to the current date and the end date is greater than or equal to the current date, that's the current question. So we can see not just on AID or question ID 1, but we can just see whatever the current question is. That's the question of the day. So how do you feel about the Yankees is the current question of the day. You know, 2 people apparently love them, and that's their IP address. We could take this a step further now, because what I'm looking for is the ID being tied to the QID from daily question and daily choices, but I also have question and answer are the 2 fields that I want to include here. So select daily questions ID, daily question, daily questions.question, daily choices.answer. From daily questions, join daily choices on daily questions.id equals daily choices.qid. And that gives us all the possible questions and answers, all the possible. But where daily questions.date start is less than or equal to the current date, and daily questions.date end is greater than or equal to current date, then we get just the current questions, question and answers. Now, we're going to add, after looking at the daily questions.id, daily questions.question, daily choices.answer, we're going to change them and say as QID and as AID. That way, we can join them on daily questions.id equals daily choices.QID, and the date start and date end less than or greater than the current date. And now we have the QID and the AID included besides the question, date start, date end, and answer. And from that, I can then view the question of the day, QOD, create a view called question of the day, or create a view QOD as, and I run that whole select statement, and it gives me that. You'll see when I do show tables that QOD now exists. It's actually a view, it's not a table. And I can show that by saying show full tables where table type equals view, and show full tables where table type equals base table. And I can see the differences between a view and a table if I really want to. But if I do show tables, it'll show up anyway.